Welcome to the Chris Duncan Daily Download, number 18. I nearly started before my computer was recording just then. I was too excited. I want to talk today about Muhammad Ali. Obviously, he passed away just on Friday, um, which is interesting. And I guess I wanted to talk about what I really learned from him. And I think that I was looking at all the different quotes and the inspiration, and he's been somebody that I've looked up to for a very long time, and in a sense, I was trying to dig in, and I think the biggest and the strongest message was, I mean, obviously he's a champion, and was the greatest of all time, but I think the thing that made him so great was his ability to stay true to who he was. And I think this is a hard thing to do. A lot of times I sense that what we are after is this success. And getting that success sometimes can lead us to think that that's so important to us. But when he was drafted into the military and it didn't hit his values, it didn't sit right with him. He didn't just push his values aside and say, I'm going to fight through. I'm going to push through. What he did was he stuck true to those values, and so he could have just followed along. He could have not gone to prison. He could have not lost all his titles. He could have just done what he was supposed to do. But he knew in his heart what it is that really mattered to him, and it was huge to me. I've been thinking about this for 3 days about how strong he needed to be to sit in that and just know that everything's gonna work out when you follow what's in here. And it's so hard for me sometimes to get out of this thing that thinks it knows everything and into here. And here's the interesting thing. Morning, Christine. Morning, Tim. Morning, John. Here's what's really interesting about what he was able to do is he created all the success. He created this huge persona. He talked himself up. He backed it up. But then when it came to it, he was principled and heart-centered and followed what he believed to be completely true. And he was able to do it. Very, very amazing, I guess, polarity or duality that was able to live inside of him. And this is what I kind of sense. As I sense that any time that we function from our head, we're basing our future on our past. Like our brain can only focus on what has been. So the brain is literally just a recreation of the past again and again and again. Whereas we've got this heart that's open up to everything that's everywhere, that's infinite, that's ever been. The heart is this huge vortex that can let us know the truth. And the heart will tell us the truth. But so often we use this, and I guess it's a difference between motivation, which comes from here, and motivation is the pump up that you get from the top here, versus inspiration, when you're inspired and you're pulled and you get it and you're able to follow through. See, I don't think that he would have realized that his actions created his legacy in that moment. By him saying, take it. I don't need the gold medal. I don't need the titles. I don't even need my name. I don't need any of it. Take it. Because my principles are the most important thing. I'm not sure if he truly knew in that moment how much he was going to show up for everyone as the greatest. See, he was a good boxer and a good sportsman, but he is the greatest because he was able to put all that aside and live from here. Morning fast, nice to have you guys on live. And he lived true to this. And if I relate this across to my life, and obviously this is my daily download, so it's a little bit about me, is so often I'm functioning from here. I've made the million. I've got to make the 5 million. Now the 5. Now the 10. I'm going for the billion. All from up here, and I can't lose it. I can't lose it. And then realizing in the last few months what's truly important, what comes in here, what matters to me, what's where my heart's come from, what my principles are, what my values are. And I look at him, and he knew that. He knew that much better than I did or do until now. And that's the big thing that I think is coming through from me today, is to know that you want to be pulled with inspiration. And I love that word. And I don't know how many of you have ever broken down words. I love breaking down words. Okay? It's this. Inspiration, if you break it down, is in spirit, in action. in spirit, in action. So if you wanted to break that, if you want to be in spirit, in action, you're acting through inspiration. But instead, motivation, it's a motor, it's a push, a motivation, it's a push. So what we want to get to is we want to get into in spirit, in action, when we're getting pulled. And I think that he was in that. I think that he knew the truth. And so it doesn't actually matter, everybody, how much money you make. It doesn't matter. It's all just there. It doesn't matter how much accolades and things you have. Let's take a message from Ali today. And what a great man. And, I'm so lucky that he's a part of this human experience that we're all experiencing, because he has a really strong truth. How to be so great, so ferocious, so much confidence, but then also just so centered in what was true for him. And I'm sure he had many flaws. I'm sure there were many things that weren't great. But for me, this was the biggest takeaway. So if you're out there watching, I'm going to talk with the people that are on live for just a minute. But if you're out there, please share, put a comment below. If there's anything you want me to cover tomorrow, then just let me know. And I love you guys so much.